first win. Sitting second in the point standings is our attention back to the victory podium. If you can, please rise. Gentlemen, please move your caps. Up first to give our invocation from Motor Racing Outreach, my good friend, Raymond Rizzo.
Thank you, Scotty. Before we pray, we'd like to take a moment to honor one of our fallen race officials. A couple weeks ago after Daytona, we lost John Welch, a dear friend of us. Many of us are grieving, and we just want to take a moment and, again, a moment of silence. Our loving Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for John and his memory and what he means to each one of us, our family. And we just pray also for his daughters and his family, God, that you would bless and comfort them at this time. So we ask tonight, Lord, that you would protect each and every one. All of our racers, the amazing talent that they have, I pray that you protect them to navigate this track to the best of their ability. All of their crew, all of their family, their supporters, each and every one of them, I pray that you just bring them together and let them have a wonderful night tonight. We're thankful for all those that are working behind the scenes, all of our AFT staff, all the people here at Senoia Raceway. We're so grateful. And I just pray you bless them. We're thankful for our corner workers, security, all of our fire and first responders. I pray, God, that you would bless each and every one of us tonight. We're so thankful for this beautiful day that you've created. And we also want to remember all of our veterans. We're thankful for all those that are in our midst today. We're also thankful for those that are serving around the world on our behalf. I pray you protect them. God, let them know they're loved and appreciated. And again, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Bless each and every one. In the name of Jesus, and everyone said, amen and amen.
Amen. Thank you, Raymond Rizzo. Please remain standing. Here to sing our national anthem, I would like you to please welcome Morgan Nations.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Excellent job by Morgan Nations. That is it for opening ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go racing once again. I am Scotty Dubler, and up here in the booth is your 2017 Kicker AFT Singles Champion, Colby Carlisle. Colby, this is what we've been waiting for, the sun to go down, the moisture to come up on this racetrack. It is about to get good.
It is about to get good. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. A few of those singles riders got the lucky lap to go out and check it out. But, yeah, they've done so much work since they were last on track at about 4:30. So, Scotty, It's time. I've been talking about this all day, how good the track gets when it's race time.
You said this is one of your favorite racetracks to come to because the racing is so good. That's why there's a bunch of people in the crowd. That's why we're here, and that's why Yamaha is a part of this one. We're just an hour, maybe an hour south, a little bit west of Atlanta. So Atlanta's nearby. The singles riders are lined up. For you new fans, a single is a single-cylinder motorcycle. They all started out as 450 motocross bikes. Now they've been tuned to go fast and turn left.
Yeah, all of these bikes are heavily tuned, very fast, and man, these guys have been going so fast today. Scotty, we were talking about it because we haven't been to a big track like this in quite a while. They are going so fast when you're standing up by the fence.
And the lap times of the singles are just about as the same as the twins. So every time you see the bikes on the racetrack, they'll be going as fast as they can. Staging is already full of heat race number 1. It is the singles class. There'll be 2 heat races for the new fans out there. We take the top 6 to the main event. Everybody wants to do that because nobody wants to go that last chance qualifier.
And we are getting what I would call a main event right off the bat here, getting Tom Drain lined up next to Chase Sadoff, our 2 title contenders. A little bit of drama in the past from these 2. Let's see what's going to go on tonight. Justin Jones, it's a good one.
A veteran in our sport. Justin Jones won back in the singles class years ago, and he's back running good on that Fairway Ford GMC Chevy dealership sponsored number 91. Then you got the 82 Travis Patton. He was flying at Daytona. He didn't race very much with us last year. It's good to see him doing good. He's on that Waters Auto Body team from up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's good to see them coming out here with 2-rider effort, but yeah, Scotty, I'm very interested to see. We saw them in qualifying and practice riding low around the majority of the racetrack. Now I've got a feeling we're going to start moving up.
So all across the bottom, the low line, they've dug it up deep. They don't want the riders running low. They want them to go up where it's smooth, where it's fast. So the times will be a little bit different than practice and qualifying, but I think that'll make for some better racing. Here is your starting lineup for heat race number 1. On the pole, it is our defending champ, Tom Drain. Chase Sadoff is there. Justin Jones and Travis Patton on that front row. A 2-time winner, Cage Tadman, back there in that second row. Aiden Brown, his first appearance, and Jordan Bolak, who was from Quebec, Canada, who was leading main event number 2 down there at Daytona before that restart, and he slipped back a little ways. But this one's going to be a good one. This is our first heat race of the AFT singles class. It is 8 laps, top 6 riders going directly to the main event. The rest of them come back in 1 last chance qualifier. We line them up 4 wide. They have the little hash marks. They have to line up between the hash marks on each of the rows. When we get to their main event, you get to pick your spot according to how you qualified. But on a heat race, they go from qualifying, you go from inside to outside or outside to inside. You cannot pick your spot until we get later on in the night. It is time to go racing here in Senoia. Kicker, AFT singles, heat race number 1. 2 of the best riders are on the inside, the 1 and the 88. Drain and Sadoff, Yamaha versus Husqvarna. A stacked first heat race. There is Drain on the very inside. Sadoff right beside him. They're inches apart on the banked front straightaway. 8 laps the distance. 2 yellows and then a green. We're racing in Georgia. Here we go. The drag race to the first turn. It'll be Drain. Here comes Sadoff in second. Now it looks like a rider already up to the 3rd spot's on the move.
Patton's in 3rd right there, getting a good jump as well. Justin Jones falls a little bit deeper back there in 4th, but this is what we've been expecting. Tom Drain and Chase Sadoff, everyone right now trying to figure out where the fastest lines are.
The sun is still setting here in Georgia, but it's Drain out front. A Yamaha leads the way. A Husqvarna in second. A KTM in 3rd. And then that 4th place rider, another Yamaha.
A little bit of follow the leader right now. Chase Sadoff not testing anything, just kind of sticking right on the backside of Tom Drain. I saw Jones move up the racetrack a little bit, lost the rear end, so maybe it's not quite ready yet.
Maybe as that sun will set a little bit further and the moisture comes up, we'll try to see if that high line comes up. There goes Sadoff, caught a little rut right there. The front wheel comes up, but he never let off the throttle. Still remains on that back tire of our leader.
And you can hear how easy these guys are being on the gas in the entrance part of that corner. Both Tom and Chase trying to make sure they do not lose the rear. They're focusing so hard to keep the bike in line, and Tom's doing it just a little bit better there than Chase, but Chase gets a good run. That bike, the way it's rebounding, though, off the corner, very tough to handle a bike like that, where Tom's bike a lot smoother right now.
They they are a lot higher up the racetrack than they were in practice qualifying, but the times are still very similar. 1:7.890, the fastest lap for the 88 of Sadoff. He's on the back tire of the leader, looking for a way through. Here comes Sadoff.
Yeah, and Sadoff was able to get off of 2 there a little bit smoother. You didn't see the bike pumping on him down the back straightaway.
He is right on the back tire. Drain continues to lead. Sadoff in second. They've broken away from everybody else. Pettin, Jones, Tadman, and Kelleher right now in the last transfer spot. Jack Brooks, the rookie, trying to work his way in on that 113 Husqvarna.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised last lap that Chase didn't go for the pass on Tom. He must have been just a little bit too far back, or he knows that second place is good enough to be a front row spot in the main event.
Battle is for third. There is Pettin. Here comes Justin Jones. Look, going to the high line. There goes Tadman. He's searching on the number 28 bike, and he's the first one to go up high.
Where did he come from? He is digging in there a little bit as Travis Pettin and Justin Jones go side by side. Tadman, a big shift this year, going over to the Honda.
Here comes Jones trying to get by Pettin. They're side by side for third. Last lap. First heat race. We'll go back to the leaders. Drain, Sadoff. Looks like Sadoff is content with second. Last corner.
Yeah, Chase wasn't able to get the run, so he will hold on for second unless Tom slips up. Chase is going to try for the inside. Is he going to get a run down the front stretch? No. Tom Drain's going to end up winning Kicker AFT Singles Heat Race 1.
And there's the battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. The final few transfer spots of our first heat race. That was just a little taste of what we're going to see the rest of the night. The number 1 rider in the country taking the win of heat race number 1. That is Tom Drain. The rest of the field moves off the racetrack, getting ready to go. I don't think the leader stopped to see and get an interview, so we'll try to see if we can catch up with him. He's going straight back to the pits. Maybe he wants to make some changes. Here's a look at the replay. This is the start. Drain grabbed the whole shot from the bottom, and he just kind of led from there, Colby.
Yeah, and Chase Sadoff, I mean, both of these guys' bikes were working really good. Chase's bike was pumping just a little bit, but when it starts to do that pump work, it honestly means you're just getting more grip. So you see Chase Sadoff goes for it here. I really thought he was going to go for it. From this angle, it's a little bit farther. You really want to have your front wheel at least to their foot peg.
You know, in the main event, he probably would have went for it. He knows it's just a heat race.
I think he was just a little too far off, but he's sizing him up, and we are getting ready for a good one between these two.
Heat race number 2 rolls onto the racetrack. The stage has been set already. 2 of the best riders are ready to go. Here is Jamie. She caught up with our winner.
And Tom Drain, as you mentioned, took the bike right back to the team. Following that heat race, what is it that you're still looking for that they need to work on?
No, we've got a couple improvements to make out there. Feel we can do them. The track's changed a lot, so we've just got to adapt the bike to it.
Good luck.
Drain taking the win in heat race number 1 on the line. Heat race number 2, the 10 of Walker Porter, the 21 Trevor Bruner, 66 is Eisenhardt, 75 Taryn Santero. Row 2, Braden Fanders, who was very fast here last year, 89 Trevor Martin, 63 Jared Lowe, 41 Ryder Roos. The third row, it's Caleb Martin on the number 90. Let's see, let's get this straight out. 93, Jackson Sangles on the 210, Aiden Savage, 277, Bronson Pierce on the 132, and at the tail of the field, 225, Tyler Cunningham, 87, Landon Smith, and the 112, Gabriel Boisvert, the French-Canadian rider. There's the Alabama Slammer on the inside. Second fast qualifier. Had to sit out and watch the first night down in Daytona. He doesn't want to do that ever again, he said. Representing the Turner Honda team based out of nearby Atlanta, getting set to go. Heat race number 2, Kicker, AFT Singles Class. We're lined up, 8 laps the distance, top 6 to the main, just like the first heat. 2 yellows and then a green. Clutches are out. The bikes are all over the place in that heat race. They'll bury it off into turn number 1. Here they come. They're stacking them up from third on back, but the leader's got a healthy lead already. It is Walker Porter off in turn number 2.
Walker Porter, Turner Racing now, former Turner Racing rider Trevor Bruner in second. There's nothing he would like to do than get a win here in this one.
Santero right behind him in third. Fourth is Braden Fanders, 83, who won Daytona night number 2.
Walker Porter.
Oh, the rider down right there going into turn number 1. One rider down. We keep racing until we see a red. Now the red wheel lights are on. It is the 277. There's another rider down. That looks like maybe Jackson Singles, but it was Aiden Savage going down on the 277. I believe the other one might have been the 210 of Jackson Singles. We're going to send the rest of the bikes to the hot and the cold box. We'll get our down riders checked out. One of them's way up there by the air fence, and that air fence is there for a reason. There's the infield corner workers with the red and the yellow. Again, there's red wheel and lights on. You can see the bike did definitely get into the air fins right there. Colby, the banner's been tore off, and he's up and moving around. Now he's going to sit back down. Now he's standing back up. Let's put our hands together. That rider going down over there, I believe it's Jackson Sangles.
I'd have to guess Scotty going into one, it just got a little bit congested, and he ended up going over the top of someone. I would have to think. I don't think he tucked the front. I would have to think he hit the backside of someone's tire with his front tire.
Kevin is there. He travels the entire year with us. He's on the right. He is our medical official, and he will make sure that that rider is good to go. You can see they haven't even looked at that motorcycle just yet. They're more concerned with that rider, making sure he is okay. I caught this out of the corner of my eye. It'll be near the back of the pack. Yeah, it's already starting right there. That rider's really, really sideways. That's Savage, and I believe Sangles has nowhere to go. We kind of lost him in the screen right there, but yeah, Savage looked like the back end just stepped out around.
He threw it in too hard, I'd have to guess.
Savage is already over here, not even working on the bike or anything, so it looks like he is okay.
Yeah, I didn't really see that. Early on, and especially Aiden's a newer rider here in the AFT class, and I'm not sure how much time he's had on big car bank tracks like that, and it's been a lot of track prep since we've last been on it, so I'd have to guess he threw it in just really, caked it in there a little bit too deep and just couldn't bring the rear around, and unfortunately Sangles got caught up in it.
Savage is from Cairo, Michigan, riding the Husqvarna, doing it for J&M Logging and Andy Nichols on the sponsor list for that number 277. And trying to get his name made, but you don't want to do that by going down. He's getting some airtime, but not the good time, right? Not the good time.
Well, he's learning.
Yeah.
Quick way to learn.
It is a quick way to learn. So, again, they're getting our down rider checked out right now, and looked like he appeared to be okay, and let's see what they're going to do with that motorcycle. I believe he's going to get a little ride back. And Jamie, who is helping us out this weekend, she is with Walker Porter.
Well, you mentioned that tremendous start that Walker was able to get. We talked about your reflection after Daytona, how mentally you were all over the place. A brand new race weekend, it seems like your head is on straight. What confidence do you have now this evening?
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence. I grew up racing tracks like this, and Daytona I was just a little off mentally going into the first race of the season, and just feel a lot better in my mental state this race coming up, and I feel really good today.
Having seen the racetrack now that the sun is starting to set, how different is it from what we had this afternoon in the sunshine?
Yeah, it's for sure getting a little slicker, and towards the bottom, it's they tilted up a bit and put some moisture down there, so it's pretty good.
All right, Walker, we'll see if you can repeat that great start. Good luck.
He says pretty good. His parents talked to his parents earlier today, and he said this is more like a Walker Porter style racetrack. Daytona is just a special breed. It's that moon dirt, but up here they got the gray clay. It's something totally different also, and it's a fast track.
A lot of these riders are going to get a good second chance too, because a lot of these kids have not had the opportunity too much to start on such a big bank, and we saw so many of those guys get bad starts because they weren't used to it. And you might get a good practice start earlier in qualifying, but the nerves are up now. It's race time, and only top 6 to the main event.
And they just got a good practice start right there. Basically, you just use that as a practice start.
Absolutely.
And it'll be a complete restart if the two riders can rejoin. It looks like definitely the 277 is going to start. He'll go to the tail of the field for bringing out that red, the red light. There are red wheel and lights on all the way around the racetrack, and that is when we know how to shut them down. So one rider that was really fast here last year who won at round number 2, Braden Fanders, is with Jamie.
Braden certainly knows what it takes to do well here on the clay, but tonight it's a little bit of a work ahead of you to get the bike ready. What are you still working on for the speed?
Yeah, so we had a little bit of our time wasn't the greatest in that second qualifier, which put us back on the second row, but yeah, that first start got a great launch and was right there. Felt like I had the pace to catch the guys in front of me and run them down. So we're gonna reset here, restart, and try to do the same thing.
Bikes are fired up, guys.
That's the best sound we like to hear is when they fire those bikes back up. They had to fix the air fence over there, put the progressive, banners back where they belong, and they're going to fire them up. The 277 is there. I'm not sure if Sangles is going to make the restart or not. We do see Savage is ready to go. It'll be a complete restart with the 277 at the back.
I'm not seeing Sangles. And another thing to touch on with Fanders is psychologically, he's overcoming a lot here. He had a really big incident going into this corner right here last year. So even if it's present in your mind or it's deep down, you're still thinking about it maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, and it was just a racing incident going into Tournament 3 in the challenge race, and it was a wild ride, and he left here in a helicopter. So, he's trying to prove that that's not going to happen again. He won at Daytona. It's got to bring some confidence coming in. His first career win in our kicker AFT singles class. So a complete restart will line them up. I do not see the 210 out there, so the 277 will start tail of the field. He's got to be in the exact starting spot he was in that third row. So now he's back here on the fourth row. Big P says, all right, you're starting right here. Here's a thumbs up. So hope Sangles is all right. Hopefully maybe he can come back in that last chance qualifier. Big P's on the move. That means it's time to go back to work. Heat race number 2 of our kicker AFT singles class. Just like the first one, 8 laps. Top 6 to the main event. We got Walker Porter. We got Bruner. We got Logan Eisenhart, the 66, and Terrence Santero out there on the roof systems. Vincent Construction, Mission Foods bike on the outside. Heat race number 2. It's on. The light turns green. Santero from the outside trying to shut the door on everybody. Doesn't quite get the job done. It's still Walker Porter grabbing that whole shot once again.
Yeah, really aggressive out of Santero. Wanted to get ahead of him. I liked the move. Just wasn't far enough ahead to be able to do it. Walker Porter, he is so accustomed to being able to move and slam. He is a short track specialist. He's showing it right now.
Porter leads, actually stretching out the lead going into 1. Then you got Bruner, the 21 right there in second. Santero. Now in 4th is Eisenhart, who had to get here in a U-Haul this weekend.
Fanders a little bit deeper, trying to work his way through the field, moving up just a little bit. He's going to try to square up the corner, get under Eisenhart. Is he going to get a good enough drive? No, not this time.
Do you think the singles will work their way up yet, or are we going to wait till the twins put some rubber down?
I don't think so. I've seen a few guys try it. Fanders is up there right now, but let's see. The only way that I see it working right now without more moisture is if you're clogged up in front of you, just like Fanders is now. Fanders has Eisenhart and Santero in front of him, and he might be holding him up just ever so slightly.
And that's allowed the 63 of Jared Lowe to get on the back tire of Fanders. So these top 6 trying to break away from everybody else. Everybody wants to go straight to the main event. We're watching the battle for third on back. Santero, T-Money on the 75 bike, slips a little wide right there. Now here comes Fanders up the inside of Eisenhart and makes the pass.
Very aggressive move out of Fanders right there on the corner exit here on a really big short track, but he's just sick of it. He wants to go to the front. They were holding him up just a little bit. Eisenhart, man, there's a bump there, and that does move the suspension a lot. But Fanders, what I liked, Santero, he's throwing it in really hard. You see the bike sliding up just a bit. Fanders has better bike control right now.
So looks like the number 66 has dropped 2 spots. The one on the move is the 83. He brought with him the 63. Fanders on the 83. Jared Lowe on the 63. Fanders looking up the inside of Santero.
I'm surprised he didn't take the shot, but see what I'm talking about? Santero just a little bit higher than Fanders. That's how he was. Oh, man.
He got off the back tire. And Jared Lowe just about throws away coming off of turn number 4 also.
Oh, that was so close for Fanders. As soon as you go front tire to rear tire. Here we go for the pass. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he backs off.
This is the battle for 4th. 3rd and 4th, actually. Santero's in 3rd using the body English. Jared Lowe trying to hang on to that 5th spot. This is for 3rd and 4th. They're both in the main, but we'll go back out in front. That's Walker Porter doing it for the Turner Honda team. He looks really strong tonight. Fastest lap, 1:8.046. Off the final corner, the Alabama Slammer. Walker Porter wins heat race number 2.
Good thing to note there, Scotty. Walker Porter's brake rotor was glowing, which we don't see that very often with these 450s. It's kind of a technique that guys like Coolbeth and Jake Johnson really started back there, but Walker Porter had that thing glowing there at the end. It's still really hot.
And only on an 8-lap heat race. Here's the start. Santero gets a great jump. He was trying to shut the door, and Bruner just says, I'm not having it. He puts his elbows up and hangs onto that 2nd spot. That would put Santero back there in that 3rd spot. But Walker Porter got out front and checked out. Here is the battle for, looks like, the 5th spot right there. The 83 gets up by Eisenhart and brought with him the 63. Now here he comes. Watch this one. He gets right on the back tire right there and almost went for a high side. Almost went straight to the wall, but what a good recovery. But he would, man, what a race it was. The 10 taking the win, 21 is 2nd. And now Walker Porter is with Jamie Howe.
When he climbed off of the bike, the brake rotor was still glowing. But Walker, we talked during that red flag, your confidence is high. I watched you look over your shoulder taking that white flag. The confidence now that you have going into the rest of the night, what are you taking with you?
Yeah, it feels good winning the heat race, my first ever heat race win. It just feels really good to me, and I can't wait to get out there for the mains.
All right, good luck. Congrats.
Walker Porter feeling it on the Turner Honda. Here comes the Mission AFT Super Twins. On the poles, number 3, Harley Davidson rider. That's Rick Ware Racing entry. The 3 is Briar Bauman. He was the last year's winner. 2nd last year will be starting 2nd from Oxford, Pennsylvania. The Mission Foods, Harley Davidson, the 44, Brandon Robinson. Starting 3rd from Warren, Oregon, Brackley Racing KTM. 67, that's Davis Fisher. And the last bike on the front row is the Honda Hornet. That's the American Honda sponsored entry from Guilford, Indiana, the 48, Trent Lowe. Row 2, 25, Ben Lau. 49, Chad Coast. 95, Evan Renshaw. He's out there in that Royal Enfield. 16, Jacob Lehman. Row 3, 24, Hunter Bauer. 29, Billy Ross. 57, Ian Wolf. And the 27, that is Red Wyatt Vaughn back there, starting tail of the field. In this one, we will take the top 6 riders. It is also 8 laps, just like our singles riders. It is 2 heat races of Mission AFT Super Twins. And then we'll get into our first main event of the night already. The Pro Sports will be getting ready. They're up next. Colby, what's it going to take to win this one?
It's going to be interesting mainly to see if these guys start chasing the racetrack. There's a lot more experience here, so let's see if they move up.
Getting them all staged up. Breyer's on the inside. He was last year's winner. He only won by leading the last 2 laps of the main event. The guy beside him had it in the bag and let it slip away. That's Brandon Robinson. He's let that one eat at him all year long. He's back for revenge. Bauman, Robinson, Fisher, and Lowe on that front row. Light is green. Couple of them slipping and sliding. Breyer goes way down, but he leads him in the first corner. Here comes Robinson second. Fisher trying the high line.
Yeah, Davis is trying to go around the outside. He didn't get the best start. Breyer was the only one on the front row to actually get away clean with that one, and he has the lead now. But let's go Trent Lowe around the outside. Ben Lau there on the inside, and Davis Fisher currently running in third.
Lau and Lowe battling for fourth. Look at Robinson, really gets it crossed up going into one. It is slippery out there right now.
I was talking to Ben Lau before this, and he said he is not moving off that bottom. He was happy with what's going on, but Davis Fisher is able to go around the outside. We've got 2 riders trying it, like I mentioned. These riders just have so much more experience. Davis almost gets into the backside of Ben coming off of 4.
Teammates battling back here now for 4th and 5th as Trent Lowe goes way up the racetrack on that Honda. So maybe that Highline's coming in for the Super Twins class.
Something to mention, too, these bikes have a better chance at going up the racetrack because all of these bikes are on purpose-built racing frames where all the other bikes are meant for motocross. That's where they start their lives out at.
Breyer Bauman out front to Rickware Racing. There goes the Honda way up the racetrack. He left it on about 20 feet longer.
And I think you have to go up as high as Trent did because you see how there's a little bit of a gray patch between where they're riding. Trent's going up to that light brown patch. That's where the most moisture is. That's where the clay has all the grip. And it's working for Trent right now.
He's going back around the outside. The 48 trying to take over second. So the 44, he's hooked on the bottom. The 48 searching on the high side. They're side by side halfway down the back straightaway. It looked like Trent got a little bit of dry stuff going into 3.
Yeah, he's starting to come down a little bit. You see him spinning. He has to work so much harder than Robinson, and he's a little bit at Robinson's will. If Robinson can sense him, he could move up just enough to block Trent.
Trent still running the high line on that Honda. Is trying to square up the corner out front. Breyer Bauman, Brandon Robinson side by side with the 44 and the 48. Robinson the 44, Trent Lowe in the 48. Trent Lowe had a good Daytona until the had engines problems or maybe transmission issues right there in that with the last lap of that first night.
Trent's really letting the bike drift up there in the center here as he gets just alongside of him. He's getting closer and closer to letting it stick, and I think what really could do it is if Brandon Robinson elects to try the high line. But right there's what I'm talking about. Brandon can move up in front of Trent blocking.
There goes the 48 back to the high side. White flag is out. Last lap, heat race number 1. Robinson's not giving up that second spot. He wants that front row of the main event. Off the final corner, last year's winner on number 3. He's going to bring him home. The checker flag is out. Breyer Bauman wins heat race number 1. Fastest lap was Trent Lowe, though, at 1:8.319. How about Breyer taking the win?
Yeah, that's our first and second from last year. Scotty Breyer Bauman ended up winning, just like you mentioned a few times, but Brandon Robinson also came away with second, and man, it ate at him all year long, and he wants this one so bad.
The teammates up there, the Rackley Racing bikes, both make it in back there 4th and 5th, and then Chad Coase on his new ride gets that final transfer spot. Here is a replay of the start. Breyer goes way down low. The 44 ducks into second. I love Fisher went up there for the high line for just a little while, but he kind of settled in and went back to about the 4th spot, ended up 4th. Trent Lowe did not give up on the high side. He went right back to work on that high side, but nobody was catching the big number 3 of Breyer Bauman, who, of course, won here last year and put on a show for you. Breyer Bauman, your winner, and he is with Jamie.
Picking up right where he left off here in terms of results, but behind the scenes, very different set of circumstances. The rider that you are coming into racing tonight, how different are you from a year ago?
Shoot, I feel like the same racer, maybe a dad now if that's any different, but feel good. It's just, I don't think anyone understands the magnitude of switching crew chiefs, but going to Brian Bigelow, dude, he works so hard. So does Troy, Barber, Ryan Connolly, Jake Johnson, my wife, Shanna. So we're just adjusting. It's taken a little bit longer than we'd like, but you know what? That was a good start, and yeah, honestly just can't thank the Rick Ware Racing team enough. This Daytona was a bummer, but we're ready to get rolling again.
Baby steps equal speed, guys.
Baby steps. He's got a new baby. Maybe it's working for him. I don't know. That's Briar Bauman winning the first heat race. Up next, heat race number 2. On the pole is our points leader, and the winner of the first 2 rounds, it's Cody Kopp. Starting second, the 26, Aiden Roos-Evans. Then the 1 rider, it's Dallas Daniels. And starting fourth, the 79, Dalton Gauthier on the Aprilia. Row number 2, 92, Brandon Price, 911, Henry Wiles, 14, Logan McGrain, the 70 is Declan Bender. And on that third row, 13, Morgan Mishler, also on the Aprilia, 34, Cam Smith, and the 11, Daniel Poole from Gaffney, South Carolina, probably the rider that lives closest to right here, and he is riding a Kawasaki tonight. Heat race number 2, just like the first one, 8 laps the distance. And the top 6 to the main event. So this one's going to be a good one. You got a pair of Harley-Davidsons on the inside, Yamaha, and that Aprilia on the front row, Colby.
It's cool to see that they've been able to get that Aprilia. I mean, they worked so hard. If any of you guys follow along on that journey, it took them so long, and the bike is so unique. It is nothing like what anyone else has. The gas tank's actually the seat. The bodywork is so much different than anything else you see.
And right out the tail section is the filler for the gas tank. It's very unorthodox, but you wouldn't expect anything less from Robbie Bobby.
Yeah, if it was my rider and you wheelied, I would be I'd be livid. There is way too much if you lost that tail section.
So it looked like they're checking something out on the racetrack before they send out the final heat race of the night. After this one, we'll have our AFT Pro Sport 450 main event. Man, there's a lot going on over there in the Midway. When you get a chance, go check out the Atlanta short track t-shirt. You've already bought one, Colby. I can't believe you didn't bring me one, but I understand. And also down there's the folks with Kicker are here. Stop by and see the latest and greatest for Kicker Performance Audio. And don't forget the Mission, the Mission tent. There's free chips over there. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the Midway as the bikes roll back onto the racetrack.
I'm really glad to see that people are able to move up, but right now it's going to get easier for those guys because they're going to be able to put maybe just a sprinkle more water on, but the sun's down now, so moisture will naturally start coming out.
Folks at the Light Shoe headquarters up there in Sturgis, South Dakota are tuned in and listening right now. So, and also Tommy Duman just shot us a text message, the official jeweler of Progressive American Flat Track, TDFJ.com. Tommy's watching at home right now and wishing he was here at this one. It's going to be good. This is heat race number 2. From the drone, you can see where the starting spots are. There's only 4 on each row, which causes a little less congestion in that first corner. It's caused for a lot less, pileups and first corner wrecks that we used to have back in the day.
It felt a lot better because I was able to enjoy this the last few years of my career and just having 4 guys rather than 6 because 6 can get hairy on a really tight track.
Cody Kopp sitting on the inside, wins his first 2 nationals of his career in this premier class. He's a 3-time AFT singles champion down there on the Latest Motors Harley-Davidson. Latest Motors actually sponsored his dad for quite a few years when Smokin' Joe Kopp was racing. The 10-second board goes up. It is heat race number 2, Mission AFT Super Twins. Cam Smith scooting over just a little bit, says, let me get a little bit better starting spot. Look at the banking on the starting line. The first yellow light is on. There are 2 yellows and then the green on top. Here we go. Daniel Poole goes nowhere. He's going to get out of the way. Daniel's trying to lead from the outside and gets the job done. What a great start by the number 1 rider.
It is going to be the Yamaha that's able to grab the whole shot over the Harleys in the Aprilia. But it's Aiden Roos-Evans. He went really good here last year. He had a journey to get this motorcycle here, and he is living the privateer life, and he is fighting neck and neck with our champion.
He was fast qualifier one night down Daytona. He goes back to the high line, the Trent low line. We're going to call it that right now. Dallas Daniels on the bottom. Aiden Roos-Evans gets it crossed up. Here comes Kopp, now up to 3rd.
The big difference, I like what Aiden's doing better right now than what Trent was. Trent was coming in so low and the bike was drifting up. You were sliding. Where look how high Aiden's coming in. He's already at the light brown stuff that I was talking about. He is rolling this thing right now. I expect Dallas Daniels, if Aiden goes by, to try it.
The black and white Harley-Davidson 26 going to the high side, but right now it's the Estenson Yamaha out in front. Now here comes Cody Kopp. They're trying to make it 3 wide. Now Cody goes up to the front straightaway wall.
Yeah, Cody's in the catbird seat right now. He is everything.
A little too high.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to turn it, get back on it, and not let Cody Kopp go by. Cody's being able to see whatever he wants right now. As Dallas Daniels gets that brake rotor glowing, he's trying to get that manual traction control on.
Applying the brake while you're on the gas just to keep the rear wheel from spinning. Look like, right there, look at Wiles kiss the front straightaway wall a little bit. Kopp trying to get the pass on the 12 bike, pulls the front wheel. They're all chasing Dallas Daniels, last year's champ.
Yeah, he's really using a lot of brake just to try to get more traction, more bite. So now 8-7 is surging a little bit. You see him coming in lower as Cody Kopp finally gets by him there. Cody's still sticking with that low line.
Well, Bruce Evans, I think, went in a couple times too high. That time he went into 1 and 2, squared off, comes off the bottom of turn number 2. So Bruce Evans is searching, looking for a way to get back out in front. And the top 2 will make it to the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge race. Look at that brake rotor. That's glowing red early in a heat race.
And the Twins brake rotors, they'll never go away. They're so thick. They use a dual car rotor. But the thing is, it's a crutch. That bike isn't working as good as Dallas wants it to. You don't want your brake rotor glowing. That just means you're having to use it as a manual traction control because it's too slippery as we get the white flag.
1 lap to go. Here comes the 12. He shows the wheel to the outside. Cody Kopp is looking for the heat race win. He's applying the pressure to the 1 bike. They'll go down the back straight for the final time. Cody Kopp sends it. He goes to the high side. Now his brake rotor is glowing red. Off the final corner, Yamaha or Harley. Who's going to win? Heat number 2 is going to be the Yamaha. Wow.
Cody was able to catch up a little bit. Dallas didn't know what was going on behind him, never took a look back, but it's so interesting seeing all the brake rotors glowing, Scotty. Just not enough grip out of the track right now for these guys.
They're dragging the brake just to keep the bikes planted, also to less wheel spin off the corners, but it's got to be slowing them down a little bit. Here's a look at the replay of the start. Look at the 1 bike from the 3rd starting spot, the first one to get the whole shot other than the pole setter. That was a great job right there. Bruce Evans gets up there and battles for 2nd. Kopp was way back to 4th early on, worked his way up to 2nd place. Here goes Kopp. He was sending it on the final time. Kopp goes around the outside, and he was going for the win. He's going to have to settle for 2nd in this heat race. Not what you want, but he's going for it. And I love the enthusiasm, trying the high line, not following. That's what these racers are born and bred to do. Do not follow the rider in front of you. There's the checkered flag, and Dallas Daniels taking the win of heat race number 2. And he is standing with Jamie.
Well, for Dallas Daniels, it was head down, eyes forward. It was a close finish, though. How aware are you of the pressure from behind?
Yeah, for sure. You can feel it pretty much all the way, you know, especially when a guy's running just above you. But I like to ask Tommy Hayden what he thinks of that start. You know, went back to Earl's Lane after Daytona, and we weren't too pumped on how the first few laps went. So that's kind of what we worked on this last week. And yeah, man, it feels good to be running up front. You know, I was running up front at Daytona, but I was like 2nd best guy pretty much in everything. I couldn't even win practice. So no, it feels good. The Essence and Racing Monster Energy Yamaha is running good. We need to make a few changes for this dash, and yeah, no, it feels good so far.
Not 2nd right now.
I like how he went back and practiced it at Earl's Lane. That's got to be a little Owensboro, Kentucky deal with Earl Hayden.
You have no time to waste with how good the top guys are right now in the Super Twins class. You can't allow them to get the starts, and Cody Kopp is so good at starts.
Here is our bonus class, ladies and gentlemen. These 12 youngsters race their way into race with us here tonight. It's called the Road to AFT, the 450 Pro Sport Invitational, but they race their way in. On the pole is the 7 who won at Daytona. That's Sam Drain from Forbes, Australia. The 23, Jed Fife, he's also from Australia. 14, Ryder Bitse from Rohnert Park, California. And the 17 of the Jet Katarzi, Tracy, California. Row 2, 55, Jake Page. 23X, Mateo Racine. 99, Brody Hansen. 26, Cody Mishi. The 3rd row, the 21, Loic Nadeau. The 313, Bane Nance. The 110, Charlie Jakes. And the 17D, Dylan Barris. That is your starting lineup for the 450 Pro Sport main event. This is the first main of the day.
This main means so much to all of these kids. Looking forward to starting their AFT Pro careers in just a few years, 14 to 21 years old, all basically stock motorcycles. Just, I mean, the wheels have to be so light. There's really nothing you can do to these motorcycles, so it makes the playing field so good. It just comes down to the rider. 2
Australians, 2 California riders on the front. Who's going to take this one?
We'll find out. I'm not making that guess.
You're not making any guesses. All right. That's Colby Carlisle up here in the booth. We got the youngsters lined up. I love this for these riders to get a chance to race at American Flat Track on some of these tracks. They never used to be able to race at the Grand National tracks. These youngsters right here, 12 of them, are getting the chance to race out here tonight. The last rider's going to that back row. Must have got to staging late, I believe. That might be Bane Nance. We got them all lined up, or he switched motorcycles possibly, but look at the 110s lined up a little bit pointed down. Sometimes they line up pointing uphill. The 17 is pointing downhill as well. This is our first main event. It is 12 laps. These are amateur riders who have raced their way into tonight. This is a main event. 10-second board is up. road to AFT. Who's going to grab the whole shot? 2 Australians, 2 California riders in that front row. Who's going to be smooth on the gas? Here we go. Pretty good start by all of them. It'll be Drain. Here comes Katarzi up to second. Bitse's right there in third. It looks like Fife has slipped back to fourth.
You have such an advantage being on that lower starting line because you can kind of control it. You're always going to get, it seems like a better start. All the whole shots have come from down there. But Katarzi, he is so determined to win, but man, he really slid it up there. It's been a long time since these kids have been on the racetrack, Scotty.
So the 2 and 2nd and 3rd had the advantage of racing at Lodi, who's got a slippery groove track as well, but there's not as much banking. But look who's out in front. Drain, who won Daytona, got 4th last night in the main event. He's turning around here tonight.
Drain's going to set sail if he keeps doing what he's doing. You see all the rest of the riders really spinning it up, especially Katarzi in sight there, where look at Drain just so calm, and he's riding so much lower. So you'll see him in that really, really light brown, where you see Katarzi a little bit higher as he gets a head shake there. But watch, Katarzi's just up ever so slight, and he's going to spin it up here coming off the corner again. Yeah, he needs to move down.
The 55 going to work on the high side. He got in luckily. That's the 55. That's Page. Jake Page is on the move. He likes that high line. It's working for him. He's going for second. How are these youngsters, how will they know to be more smooth on the throttle? Like Katarzi's got it wide open right there, but he's crossed up.
It's really hard at this age. Sometimes you don't even think about it. As Katarzi almost spun her on the straightaway there. The track's slippery right now. It's been a while since it's had any kind of track prep. Jake Page riding very smooth, but Sam Drain set sail, and we see another brake rotor glowing right there with Jake Page. Scotty, the brake rotor is so important. Like I said, it's a crutch for these guys, but it keeps, his rider Bitse gets shoved up there from Katarzi as Katarzi starts sliding back. Katarzi's having a tough go of it right now.
Well, he's grabbing too much throttle, probably heating up that rear tire by all the wheel spin he's got. So Australia riders 1 and 2. Now you got the California rider 3rd and another Australian in 4th. That's the 23 of 5. And here comes Bitse going to the high side to try the higher line. Is tired of following. The 14 goes around and takes that 3rd spot away. Bitse now up to 3rd. Slide Katarzi back to 4th where he finished at Daytona.
It's nice to see them searching around a little bit here, but the track has changed so much since the last time they've been on there. And we've had a little bit of an advantage for Sam Drain because he's got the whole SNC team to talk to know what the track's like and adjust the bike for it.
Page out there in the 2nd spot on that gas. Bitse going way up the racetrack. It seems like the higher line's coming in, and it took Trent Lowe to go up there and find it first.
And it's so important, too, if you do go up to that higher line, to be so smooth on the throttle. If you can keep the bike in line, you can probably make it work. But the second that back end steps out, it's done. Your run's over because you're so much higher, Scotty. You have to keep the momentum going. And if that rear wheel breaks loose like Katarzi's been doing, it's all gone, all for naught.
Drain long gone by almost 2 full seconds over Page. That's Jake Page in 2nd. Bitse's in 3rd. Katarzi's 4th. Jed Fife is in 5th. And here comes the Flying Flea, the 99. That is Brody Hansen. As Cody Mishi, as I say that, Mishi goes by. He moves himself up into 6th.
Let's see. Mishi's down there kind of on that line that we saw Sam Drain riding early on in this race. Everyone else higher. But yeah, see what Mishi's doing. He's below the yellow line. There's so much more grip down there, and it's so much shorter around.
And he picked up a spot. So Mishi's on the move. He's up to 5th as we go back out in front. A lap and a half remaining for slamming Sam Drain. He grew up a Sammy Halbert fan. He's on the blue Yamaha. Sammy rode a Yamaha, road number 7. Here he comes to the white flag. Slamming Sam Drain out in front by a country mile.
I don't even think it matters where Sam's riding right now because look at how smooth he's on the throttle. He's picking up his foot early, getting his weight back. It's just his throttle control is so good right now, Scotty.
Last lap, last corner, coming to the bottom of the racetrack on the Yamaha. The first time a Yamaha is going to win a main event here at the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track. It's slamming Sam Drain. 2nd is Page on the 55. Here comes the rest of the gang. Bitse, Mishi gets all the way up to 4th on the 26, and Katarzi rounding out your top 5. That was our first main event of the night. Those amateurs getting their chance to race in front of this great big crowd out here at Senoia.
He just put on a clinic of how to ride smooth. Man, he was so smooth on the throttle.
Impressive ride. He's just getting going. 2 Australians. There's a little handshake right here. They get to go down there and talk to the victory celebration on the podium. So here's a replay. Again, from the bottom, it's flatter down there too, so maybe not quite as much banking, so that's why that first position's working.
Yeah, it's a little bit flatter, and you see all these guys trying to be very aggressive, cutting over to try to get in front of them, but all the bottom guy has to do is go straight.
Exactly. So this was the best battle a little bit deeper in the field, and Page went to the high side, moved into second, and then there was a good battle behind them, and Mishi was on the very bottom of the racetrack, and he was back in 7th for a little while, worked his way all the way up to that 4th position on that number 26 bike. So great racing throughout the field in our invitational Road to AFT class. There's the double checkered flags for the Australian. Slamming Sam Drain taking the win.
That took so much dedication for Sam to be able to stay that smooth. And like you saw it with some of the other riders, they were just getting a little too excited and lighting up the back tires.
And you want to keep those tires in line and less wheel spin. And I think that high line's coming in for a little bit later on. We'll have to see if it continues to work like it did last year. Looks like we have a break in the action right after this one. Going to do a little track maintenance. If you want to grab a souvenir t-shirt, now's a good chance to do that. There's a lot going on out there. Stop by and see our friends with Kicker. They've got some free stuff. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Get your event t-shirt. You can go to the pits after we get done here tonight. We're trying to get the Cats wrangled down there on that victory podium, and only one of them gets to talk to Jamie, and that's number 7 of Drain. They're trying to get him. He's going to the podium. He knows where he's going. Nope, he's going down there, get back lined up.
For Sam Drain, we spoke earlier today after the heat race, and you felt like you had made a lot of mistakes during that one. You cleaned them up, dominated the race tonight. How much happier are you now with your performance?
Yeah, that was a good ride. Got a good start and just put in some laps, and to win in Yamaha's country state is pretty cool, and can't thank my team enough, Estenson Racing, Yamaha, Monster Army, everyone who helped me get here. Let's go.
The very first win for a Yamaha here at the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track. Congratulations, Sam Drain.
Man, he's a force to be reckoned with. He is so fast, and he road raced down there at Daytona, comes over and wins the amateur class down there at Daytona. He is fast, Colby.
I can't explain. I can't really. I'm trying to think of words to talk about how hard it is to do what he just did, to have the dedication to just barely touch the throttle. And these pro riders in the singles class and the twins class can learn so much from what we just saw there, just the smoothness that we saw out of Sam Drain. He showed the experience of a much older rider right there. Very, very impressed.
He's still young. What is he, 14, 15 years old? And, man, the kid is fast already. You got to be 14 to 21 years of age to race in this class. So they're doing some celebrating down there. No champagne for these guys, but they get the trophies and get to hang out on the podium in front of this big crowd out here. Up next will be our AFT Singles Last Chance Qualifier, followed by the Mission AFT Super Twins Last Chance Qualifier, and then we'll have our Mission Too Fast Too Tasty Challenge race, and then the AFT Singles main event, which is the Kicker AFT Singles, and then the Mission AFT Super Twins main event. So it's time for a quick break. Grab something to eat or drink. Get that event t-shirt. We'll be right back. We got more racing from Senoia up next.